Well, good morning, everyone. Graham Weatherford back with you again today. And I brought a special guest. Actually, we got two guests. In studio, we have Dwight Fox. And on the phone, we have Fane Thompson, lawyer. And Fane used to be a judge, a magistrate. So he can weigh in on some things from a different perspective than I probably would have. You know, first thing, if we look at what's trending and all over social media right now, is the new law. Don't let me catch you with your cell phone in that car. Well, we don't know if it's in the car. Maybe you got to lock it up in the trunk. Or if it's on the seat. Or if you could be texting. Now, if you're texting, I don't know how you could drive. But Bahamians are special. We could do some things, you know. Now, the liquor, we've always had to put it in a brown paper bag. Pirates of the non-Caribbean.
No, it can't be
But,
open.
You know, wait, you can't have an open bottle in the car?
Nope.
You know, in Canada, you can't even have that bottle in the car. It's got to be in the trunk. Because if it's in the car, like in the back seat, they consider you like attempted murder. It's attempted. You may be tempted and open up that beverage while you... And listen, they have some serious traffic, so I see why they would be tempted to drink. But we get in there. We refuse to drive a scooter, so I guess if you're sitting in traffic, who knows. But Dwight, and Fane is on the phone calling in, but let me let Dwight weigh in real quick. What do you think about this, Dwight? Have you ever had a problem where someone was driving bad because they had the text going on and they couldn't see you?
Well, I just recently, last week, had someone basically run me off the highway. She was on her phone. She was crossing into my lane.
Yeah.
And she's just talking on the phone, looking straight, and I'm blowing my horn. I had to pull off the highway. Good thing it was the part of the highway where you could actually pull off the road.
Now, are you sure it was because it was texting, or maybe she
had
a beverage in the car?
Maybe she had a few that morning, but she had
because
the
usually it ain't the liquor. We usually do pretty good when we got the brown paper bag and driving is be like normal. But this texting thing, this causing little problems, I guess.
Yeah.
You could comment below if you wish. You could actually call us right now, 826 all zeros, right? If you wish to call. A lot of people don't want to call because they're on their job. But you can put your comments below, and at any time you can put them after the show ends. Mr. Thompson, as a lawyer and ex-judge, what was the policy? Let's start with drinking and driving, because I know a lot of people used to drink and drive.
Well, Graham, I think as a policy issue, it is unsafe. It's from the point of view of achieving safe driving and safe drivers on the streets, to have persons drinking, texting, and driving. It's a lethal mixture, and that's why the legislation was put in place. This texting is a new problem. Police officers have been complaining that a lot of people who are having accidents and killing themselves or killing other people is because they've been on telephones while they were driving. And it is possible to text and drive. The problem is that it's dangerous, and they finally decided to outlaw it. They see you with a phone in your hand. They have the power now to stop you, to book you.
It's been said that if you're texting and driving, it's like multiple times worse than being drunk and driving.
Yeah, because you get totally distracted. I mean, we've all done it, whether we like it or not. Let's admit it now. We've all smoked the marijuana. We don't like to talk about it.
But I didn't smoke marijuana. But we could have that show too. I want that show with you too.
You understand the point I'm trying to make? We've
Yes.
We've all inhaled.
Inebriated.
We don't like to admit it.
Inebriated.
Yeah. So that's something. And even drinking and driving is just, well, it's not as bad, they say, but it's equally dangerous.
Well, your eyes are on the road. Your eyes are on the road when you're drinking and driving. But when you're texting and driving, your eye is everywhere else but on the road, and that's even potentially more dangerous.
But I don't. Sorry, but I don't understand. Why is this even an issue? I mean, it's the same thing with the seatbelt. Back in the day, they had to do a law and start booking people for seatbelt. I mean, since I've been driving since I was 13, I've been putting on my seatbelt. It's for our safety. And now they're talking about texting, and, voice noting was a part of this trend, too, because they start saying, oh, I don't have to text no more. I could voice note and all that foolishness.
Right.
But, voice noting also distracts you, because sometimes the person who you messaging don't voice note you back.
What about being on the phone?
Yeah, but hands-free been out for years. I have a hands-free thing in my visor. As soon as I get in my car, it automatically connects. I can ask Siri to dial a number. I can ask Siri to send a text. I don't understand.
Right.
It's just like everybody want to be left in the past. you have new technology to solve these issues.
But back on the seatbelt, that's kind of scary because some of these vehicles, man, I don't know if you really want to be stuck inside them when you have an accident because they're pretty tiny. You know, I probably have a better odds if I go through the windshield because there's nothing in front of my truck. It's literally 3 inches.
If you're worried about the seatbelt being trapping you or hooking you in the car, they do sell a special knife that cuts the seatbelt. I would rather the seatbelt be on and I get stuck and have to cut it than me flying out the windshield because I didn't have a seatbelt on at all.
So you subscribe to better burnt than mangled.
It's better safe than sorry.
Yeah. So, Mr. Thompson, you think it's a good thing we're gonna have everybody put the phone down in the trunk?
It's a good thing.
But have we been enforcing the seatbelt law? And that was supposed to be in law a long time. So, if we're not enforcing the seatbelt law, like we should, but I mean, it's such a small place. You're going here, you're making a multiple stops. But anyway, whatever. It doesn't, it's whatever.
And you could see these police on the side of the road from a mile away, so you just put your phone down and when you pass, you put it back up because I don't know what days we try. The police need to use new technology so you don't see them on the road. I mean, put a camera,
undercover
a drone
police
or something.
Yeah. Undercover police? What do you recommend, Mr. Thompson?
I don't recommend anything. I think what the government did was the right thing. I think what they did was the right thing. They actually outlawed texting and driving.
But we've outlawed so many. We have so many laws in this country, but none of them are enforced to the degree they should be enforced.
Absolutely.
What about riding a bike without a license?
Running the red light.
Riding a bike. Come on now, guys. I don't know how important that is. I mean, come on now. I mean,
jumping the light. The light is yellow, and people flying through even when it go red.
The new law makes sense, Glenn. It makes sense.
Okay, so
you should applaud the government for that.
But
I applaud once things start getting enforced, not just once we make laws, because we have so many laws on the books right now, right? Did you know towing a car is against the law in this country? Tying a rope to a car and pulling it on the road is against the law? That's against the law. You're supposed to get a tow truck, but we do whatever. We play crazy.
Yeah, but what I want you to understand, though, is that this is important because what it does is it monitors the way in which people interrelate with each other on the streets, and that's important. All right?
Well, hopefully it'll save some lives, you know. But if I see people texting, you know what we should do? We should start on the show. If you see someone texting, take a picture and send it to us so we could have the shame of the day. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, let's move on, though.
But one more thing on that. I mean, it's good to put these things on paper and scare people into not doing it. But the problem is the enforcing the law. The reality of it is, I come 6 o'clock in the morning to work or whatever, and no police at the light. There's no traffic camera thing like in the States. These people just run through the light. I almost got killed one morning. The light was changed long time. Thank God I took some time to look a couple times. My light was already green.
But this is the only place in the world you better stop on a green light.
They need to put cameras up for the lights so it automatically gets these people to run in the light. They need to enforce some type of technology where it's things on the side of the road that check your speed. Even put cameras up on the highways and stuff to see if you...
at Cable Beach where they have that thing flashing with your speed?
Yeah.
That's
and
a camera.
Life has it too.
So what? That could actually take your photo and your license number?
I know they spent a bunch of money to put some cameras up on the pole back like 2 or 3 years ago. But I've heard that none of them are working properly. I mean, I've heard. I don't know for sure. And it's like you talking about texting, driving, blah, blah, blah. So the only time they set up these roadblocks or police happen to pass somebody and that police scene on their phone, they see the person on the phone, but it needs to be enforced way more. And they need to use newer technology and newer ways of enforcing the law because people are just outlaws on this road. I on the road quite often driving for work, and I've had some roundabouts is another thing. They don't know how to take a roundabout. Everybody want to go right if they on the outer lane. You're supposed to go left and straight only if you're in the outer lane, as far as I know. You only go right if you're in the inner lane or U-turn if you're in the inner lane. Well, I have to stay in the outer lane to go home because I go on the highway and almost got run off on the roundabout several times trying to go through the inner lane to go straight, which is the problem. You can do that, but they don't seem to understand
But
that.
I don't understand what you're saying. I always thought it was whoever had the bigger vehicle had the right of way. So if you got the big truck, right? You could do whatever lane you need.
You know, they see the cube, that's it.
Oh,
they don't
man.
care. Cube, they run me off the road all the time.
All right. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. Let's talk about this hotel purchase in Freeport. $65 million. Now, the man say he want to keep the forks, the knives, the spoons, the sheet, the pillowcase, and I guess he want to keep the soap and all next.
So keep the hotel.
So, what is he doing with all of these hotel equipments, right? Is he planning to open up another hotel and compete with us while we trying to renovate a hotel that the hurricane done damage, insurance done pay out, and ain't nobody want to fix because probably it's too damaged to fix, and make more demands that we got to pay millions of dollars to keep people employed and previous debts. And man, that list, when I read that, I don't even want to read it again. It was just horrible. That deal, that wasn't a square deal, for sure.
I mean, why do we always have to fix up something or revitalize something that's already failing? I mean, in the States, they demolish hotels completely and build a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Do something different.
Yeah.
And another thing, I mean, I might be a little biased to this because I'm from Long Island, but what's this? Every time it's Freeport. And they want to fix Freeport. They want to make Freeport better. They want to do this in Freeport. We have so many other outer islands. You have the deepest blue hole in the world, far as I know, in Long Island. You have all those pretty beaches in Eleuthera. Everything. Freeport. We're going to spend a ton of money in Freeport, a ton of money in Nassau fixing up roads.
And you know how we can fix Freeport, right? We could take all the money from Long Island banks and bring those banks out of Long Island. So you only got no more bank. We take it to Freeport and spend that money there too.
No fire engine in Long Island.
What?
Eleuthera, wherever it was.
You only got no corned beef?
I don't know if you got a fire. I never seen no fire. No,
corned
beef.
Yeah, fire,
they want you to get fire.
Corned beef and rice and fire engine.
You ain't got no hospital. You get freaking heart attack from corned beef. You screw it. I mean, I was a very sick person when I was younger. And it's ridiculous that there was no lights on the runway. I had to go in the middle of the night. The people have to come and put street car lights on the runway so emergency plane could come and get me. I nearly died because I was waiting for a flight, and the flight never came. I had to stay in the hospital with appendicitis killing me. The clinic.
Yeah, because ain't no hospital in none of these islands.
Appendicitis killing me
Except
for 14 hours just to get on a plane the next morning.
Wait, Dwight. We need to fix the Bahamas. You know, it's... Anyhow, we promised a tech city for Freeport, and now we're going to guarantee you a bed making and bus boy job. I don't understand. That's like going left and then ending up going right.
You go sideways, up, down, all over the place. GPS broke.
So we have the WTO. We can wrap up with this WTO. How we getting sell out now? You know, it's amazing. No referendum, no decision from the people if they wanted to sell our things, right? Did we really want to join the WTO? Did anyone explain it to us properly so that we knew both sides of the story? But now we got the entourage. They probably go on first class. That's like $16,000 a ticket, a seat, go first class all over Europe and signing off on this WTO. But they haven't told us what are they signing off on.
We've been complaining.
Are you
about
giving
this
up my
years.
fisheries? You giving up my taxi industry? You giving up Long Island?
Huh.
What's being given up? Do you know?
I wouldn't know. And it's, and sadly, a lot of people don't care about the WTO. They're more concerned about this law that is telling you to do things that make you safer anyway. It's like what I see go viral on Facebook. It's the stupidest, simplest things. I'm not saying people are stupid, but it just seems like they're very easily distracted by
junk. It's a small distraction from the big issue. But we need to focus more on the big issue and train for the big issue, I guess. Because that WTO will affect you, and it will affect everything you do. See the jitney just going by? That could belong to someone else soon. That could belong to somebody from Panama who's willing to work a jitney here for $3 a day. They'll drive that jitney. They don't care.
And their jitney drivers will obey the law. They won't run every light. I caught a bus from Prince Charles. I'm not down in every jitney driver.
We got a quick call. Mr. Fox, what's up?
Hey, everything good. What's going on?
We got you live, man. You want to weigh in on this? Yeah, you want to weigh in on what's going on in Long Island?
Well, I go on the phone and I go on the road. So if you pay my fine, okay.
How much is the fine? Did they tell you?
I know, but I see some people say $1,000, $2,000. Their mind must be.
A $2,000 fine. That's the car only cost me $500, and the phone was what, $100. I might as well just give them. I might as well give them the car and the phone, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I gotta go. I gotta stop right on the road. But yeah, well, good talking to you.
Yeah, I hope you don't get catch. Put that phone in the trunk.
Yeah.
All right.
Put this down.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you better put it down after the day and get one of them hands frees. I got mine. I don't even need to touch it. I'd be like, hey Siri, call this person. Boom. And if someone text message me,
It'll read the text to you?
I know I have a mount. My phone is in a mount, right, like on my dash.
Yeah.
I really don't even need to look away to see. If somebody texts me, it can read the text.
It'll
too.
read you the text,
Yeah.
and you could say reply back and just speak
that
it, right?
person ain't important. Screw them.
Right.
Move on. Most
Right.
of my customers call me anyway. I
Wow.
mean, people tend to use WhatsApp too much these days. Professional places should be relaxing this WhatsApp usage. You should be calling people, speak to people. WhatsApp can be used again. It's like a double-edged sword. It's easier to text the client and blah blah blah, but the
Yes.
client have something in writing
Yes.
to screw you in the end.
Huh.
So you have to be careful with this. All this text
Yes.
screenshots can be done on these phones.
Yes.
You watch what you say to clients on the phone. You can't come back on nothing,
So
and
we-
they could twist your words.
We got Fane Thompson back with us. He got disconnected. I wouldn't tell you which network it was, but it was one of them. And Mr. Thompson, the hotel in Freeport, right, just before we get to WTO, why would you buy a hotel and then the man say he want to keep the knife, the spoon, the fork, the sheet, the pillow, everything in the hotel? Is he planning to open up his own hotel and compete with you?
That's a question for me to answer.
Well, that's a question I'm asking. But I mean, what's going to happen when you get paid for insurance on a hotel? We buy the hotel. I've read this deal, man. This ain't no square deal. I mean, you ending up paying all the bills on this. You're going to pay $1 million something a month in maintenance. And I mean, I thought this was a straightforward buy. I mean, wouldn't it be a better deal in Freeport if we were to say, you know, you owe us $100 million a year in property tax, right? We're going to leave. We're not going to charge you that, but we want control of this airport, and we want all these hotels in exchange. Now, you could keep the port where you make an insane money and whatever's going on over there, right? Some good things or bad things. But this hotel industry, we taking this over. Then we could gut that and turn that into global corporate headquarters for the world, for like Amazon, Apple, whoever wants to come. 1% flat fare tax. That's 30,000 jobs. The financial service sector, people that got fired or laid off, redundant, whatever, they go over there and they could start working on that, get a free piece of property.
And look at all the freight forwarders that go out of business.
I mean, this would be booming. But I mean, what we doing here? I mean, does it make any sense, Fane? And does it tie into WTO?
No, it doesn't make any sense. In fact, it's more of the same. And unfortunately, the Bahamian taxpayer has to pay for the mistakes that are being made. It's a corporate rate. It's a rate on a cheap piece of property is being left, and somebody's going to make out like bandits. And unfortunately, I think the government had no choice at the beginning. The way in which they're handling it is showing that they may be making some missteps. The government had no choice if they want to rescue the jobs, but it was not about job rescue and the rescue of the community. Then I get everything. I understand what's going on.
So it could be like a land grab again.
Yeah, it is a land grab. It is a land grab by somebody.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. If we ever find out who the new owners of the hotel, we'll find out then what it was really all about. It'll become apparent what it was really all about.
There's always some type of grab.
So today, Fane, let's just wrap up on the WTO, because you know we're watching the texting and driving, we're watching the big hotel drama, and but what we're not watching is that World Trade Organization thing that could come here to take all of our industries.
Well, the WTO promises to do that which majority rules sought to do. Majority rules promises to send us back into the dark ages, to make slaves of most of us. Wage slaves, not real slaves. Wage slaves to foreigners. And that's what the WTO is all about. There's no pretense about what it's all about. It's about privatization, deregulation, and the standardized way of running the world in the image of the World Trade Organization. That's what it's all about. And they say it's supposed to be a rules-based organization to maintain peace and foster trade between nations. But we see what's happening between the United States and China as we speak. We see that the enforcement mechanisms in the WTO do not work. It stay in WTO. They're going to form their own association. The Americans, Donald Trump wanted to get out, and the Bahamians are not interested. When I hear people say it's not important, that's because they don't know. They don't know any better. It is not only important, it promises to send us back into dark ages. Black people will not do that because we're dealing with a world which is very, very prejudiced parts of the world, and we have to bear in mind that we got to find a way to protect ourselves. There is no enforcement mechanism in WTO to ensure that the people of the world, people of color, get a true shot at being equal. So WTO does not benefit anybody, white or black, small business or large business. It benefits foreigners and people with a bunch of money.
Makes the uber
and that's not most of us.
Makes the very wealthy stupid wealthy and the middle class and poor finished.
It destroys us.
Yeah.
Kerry Leonard made the point. The attorney for the Port Authority in Grand Palm, he made the point. Robert Myers makes the point. I make this point all the time. Paul Moss makes the point. People all agree that the WTO model it makes no sense. It's just designed to achieve no objective, save and except to make the world more accessible to international capital from people who do not care what happens in the third world. And the third world is the majority of the people on the planet.
One second, Fane. Let me. I usually sit in here and hear y'all talking about WTO. I don't read much on WTO. I'm a very busy man and I deal with my video game development and stuff. And coming from a person who doesn't really read into this, I mean, I got some information from your previous shows. Now I know a little bit more about it and what's going on. But I always wonder when we get these things implemented, like the VAT and all this stuff, is it because we just put the country in such a bad debt and the government been running the country so bad for so many years that we're basically forced to sign these things? Are they really choosing?
When you say, that's a good question. But when you say we, remember now, I always differentiate between the people who are citizens of the country and those who run the country.
Mm-hmm.
I do not find fault with the Bahamian people. So when you say we, I'd be talking about politicians, that class of persons who've been running the Bahamas for many years. They are different from you and I. Mm-hmm. They are professional politicians. Their job is to maintain control of the country to their own advantage. They offer so-called a prospect of good management and good governance, but we see that they have failed. So when you say we, I don't think you mean us. I think you mean them.
I just mean like the country.
I think you mean people. Like the PLP, the past F&M administrations, who have made many missteps when it comes to trade.
You going again?
Some of the beggars, and so I don't think we have been shafted by this bad decision making, and some fellows who just basically don't know how to take care of us because they're begging, and most of them are corrupt. So many of them are corrupt. They got their hands out. Once they get paid, they do whatever international capital wants them to do. That's the experience that Bahamians have.
So are we beyond repair? That's basically what I'm asking. Is it beyond repair?
You know what's funny? No one could believe that in Haiti the other day that gas prices would be hiked, and that the Haitian people would rise up and say no. They said no, and they dropped the gas price on a hike. We like to demean and to downplay Haitians and what they do and what they achieve. But one thing we seem to do from time to time is to rise up and say no. The aim is up to say no to the WTO. It will destroy us.
But
unfortunately,
unfortunately,
and our families and our children. It will pauperize the entire Bahamas.
But unfortunately, I mean, this gets back to something I was discussing the other day with somebody. It's like we have to rise up. We have to close down. We got to go and make shirts and do all this stuff. But then Life Key writes a letter. Boom.
The rich write a letter while the poor got to go protest and take time off their job and do crazy.
Well, I don't know if that's something that we have control over. And the only way, we have to show our refusal to comply is a demonstration and fine. I've been on many of them. But we need to encourage younger people to take a more active role. We need to encourage each other to take a more active role. We're living in a country whose experiment with democracy is dying very quickly. We're becoming an outpost of big companies and big countries in the north. And these countries are not even agreeing to work with each other in the WTO, but they want us to join. China is about to leave the WTO. The American president has said he doesn't believe in the WTO. He left NAFTA. He refused to join the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. They are showing they have disdain for it. But we have slave mentality style politicians in the southern countries who want to join these organizations and complicate the lives of the people. I don't know how much sense that makes.
I'm on the show. You
Yeah, and then I think that Bahamians. I'm not going to talk bad. I'm not talking bad about my people, but I think it's when we have these issues or whatever, everyone just jumps up on Facebook and start protesting on Facebook. May have like 1,000 people actually go out and physically protest. I think we just need a new way to make this government understand that we ain't playing. We need to use this technology we have or something and have everybody like sign up or be members to something that we could talk about.
Yeah, but Dwight, we're doing it, it's up to people like you to focus direction. We're doing it, Bahamians protest on social media every day. If you read the different sites and the different whatever.
I mean, it helps. It definitely helps.
Now, you want to see them on the street. I get that. But Bahamians protest every day on social media.
Actually,
I'd like to see them.
You know, the protesting people is not true.
I don't want to see them on the street.
No.
I want to see all those people who are protesting on Facebook.
On a Facebook page.
Just sign some document that legally that we send to the government and they have to read it in Parliament or something. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see all those people who are protesting on Facebook. Yes, great. It's actually changing things. People we are noticing some change because of that. But I don't, and walking in the street is just wasting your time and risking your job.
Yeah.
I want to see people getting their signatures and getting something into Parliament that is legally signed by the people, saying we are tired of this foolishness y'all doing and you ain't listening to us.
This is the time.
I think we could start. I think, Fane, what we should look at is starting a social media movement for protest, for civil protest.
You've been on it for years, You've been on it for years, Graham. Do you think people are interested in it?
I think it is if we do.
You've been a campaign for many, many years.
Yeah, but we haven't put it in one spot where everybody could actually
like one big forum, one website dedicated to this, and everybody can sign up to it. And
call it Bahamas Civil Protest, Fane. And so people could go there to see what the issue is, learn about an issue like WTO, and then protest. I think that would be a good idea to do that. You know what I'm saying? If we started a Facebook page for civil protest in the Bahamas to explain these issues, and then you could.
They have Facebook pages already.
And that is why shows like yours are going to be important to continue sending the message out.
Yes.
We have to protect the Bahamas for the kids and our grandchildren.
But even the simple,
it's all we got.
Even the simple crazy things like my light was out for 12 hours, right?
Oh yeah.
So you go to the civil protest page and you invite IRCA to come on, and everybody puts their complaint there on that page saying, listen, my light was out, I lost everything in my fridge, I won't be compensated. So there would be one place where the government and IRCA could go to see all our complaints in one spot. I think we should work on that.
Like a public forum.
Yeah.
The government should have had something in place for to hear the people's things.
Well, they should have had that.
They only care about an election.
Yeah,
they want to hear what you say when you go and vote for them.
Yeah, it'll pop up on election week, but that's
go down 3 months later.
Yeah, it'll go down the next day. What do you mean 3 months? All right, well, Fane, thanks for joining us, and next week we can go deeper into that WTO, because now that it's being negotiated, we need to find out what's being negotiated. You know, the crew's over there in Europe now, right?
Yes, they are.
And they went first class, so that wasn't cheap. That was $16,000 a ticket. But anyway, let me take another call.
Okay.
I'll see you in a bit.
Okay then. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Hello? You want to get on the show?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hold on.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, is this Graham show or this another show that I just saw it recently?
Well, it's your show, really. We're talking.
What is Graham?
Yeah, we're talking about what you want to talk about today.
Yeah, okay, Graham, how you doing? This Reconciler.
We got you live, Reconciler.
Yeah, man. Nice show. Good show. Now, what I want to address to you and your guest, I don't know, what's the name of the gentleman?
Fox.
Okay, Mr. Fox, good morning, sir.
Morning.
The sale of the brand new Cayenne Hotel to the government.
Yeah.
Now, Graham, you agitated just like myself. being a nincompoop,
Nothing new.
all right, as a government. I call it economic carpet bagging.
Well, no one else
Well,
wanted to lend the
government-
money.
Yeah, $65 million. I understand before Hurricane Matthew hit in 2016, that hotel was only valued at $57 million. After the hurricane, the Chinese, is alleged, got $85 million from the insurance. Is that right?
Well, I mean, they got something, obviously.
I understand it's $85 million allegedly.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is they got some money from the insurance, some big money.
And they
And
didn't.
now,
And they didn't fix it.
no, they did not fix it, and they already collect the money now. Why did they get the money? They purportedly got it to fix the hotel. But through some dishonesty or skullduggery, that did not happen. So the fact of the matter is, gentlemen, that our government is derelict in their duty to the Bahamian people. They go to the House of Assembly purport to do this for the people of Grand Bahama and the Bahamas with regard to the Grand Lucayan Resort. But yet, we see that they are getting this odious debt, and the taxpayers of the Bahamians are stuck with it.
Yeah, the VAT could go up again.
The VAT go up to 16%, I guess, to pay for this.
Mr. Gentleman, Mr. Millis is the most witless.
Be careful with
Now, am
name
I allowed
calling.
to say that?
Yeah.
He's the most witless prime minister in 16 months we've ever had.
So what would you recommend?
I see them talking about they got Joao Lang, I want to talk about WTO. Remember that Mr. England, Mr. Lang was leading the charge for WTO also.
Yeah.
Now the great superpower, United States of America, is pulling out of the WTO since it served them up with a superpower nation with a budget of trillions of dollars per annum, right? And we are not even a manufactured exporter nation in regard to the country. We may have some companies that do some export in Grand Bahama, like the rock and the ragonite and all of that, but as a nation, we do not export much but some lobster and one or two other things.
Some
Fish and
junk
all that.
metal.
But, we're no great exporter nation. WTO thrives on, to export a nation. So that is not helping us as a small, insignificant country.
But we may
in
be
the world, in the Caribbean.
we may be exporting a lot of tennis shoes and shirts and jeans in the future if they set up a sweatshop here to be stitching some textiles.
Like you say, they have these sweatshops becoming people coming from all over the world competing with the Bahamians in their own country because we have a bunch of doofus, lackey politicians like Dr. Millis and his crew of nincompoops. All right? They're coming in, they're toting WTO, and they're using our money. All right? They're not using their money with this Grand Lucayan situation. If it was their money, this foolish stupidness, they would never use their money to purchase that dump. That white elephant. Okay? These people are the waste of the waste.
Yeah, so in closing, what is your suggestion? What would you do with the $65 million instead of buying a hotel in Freeport to help the people and make Freeport grow?
You say it's Freeport? Specifically the Freeport?
Well, yeah, the $65 million is to get 300 jobs in Freeport to keep the jobs, but the people won't quit anyway and take package. What else would you recommend that we do with the $65 million?
Let's see, let me tell you something. We elect a government. This is a question you should ask the government. We elect a government because they claim that they want to make things better for the Bahamian people. That's their premise of our campaign to be elected. Of course, they lied.
Yeah.
They always lie, okay? So they're supposed to be the facilitators to set up ways and means to be creative, to set up the right atmosphere to benefit the Bahamians. That's what they got paid for. That is their job, okay? To be innovative, to be creative, to set up the right kind of economic situation that all Bahamians could benefit. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Yeah, man. Thanks
Have
for
a
calling.
great one.
Well, there you have it, Reconciler. I want to thank Reconciler for calling because he always gives the Bahamian point of view better than many other people can do it. You know, we got to wrap the show up today, man.
But he kept talking about a particular poison, but I mean,
it's
previous
been all
previous
governments.
poisons have been the same thing.
Yeah,
too.
so
It's like,
you can't just bash one guy because it's been the same for the last 50 years or more.
and as a little disclaimer, we don't fully agree with everything the people
Yeah.
who call into our show
It's-
says. This is just a discussion forum.
It's better not to bash people. It's better to try and help. You know, one way to help Freeport is quite simple. Use the leverage of the land that we own and tell them they're going to pay property tax, which will be around $100 million a year.
Yeah.
And because we're not charging you this, right?
Yeah.
We expect for you to give us these hotels that you've already, but you've received the money from the insurance company. If you receive 60, 80 million, whatever, you've been paid. So really, that insurance company should now own that building. And they should be putting it up to the highest bidder. But instead, we should say, look, we want this hotel, eminent domain. We can take the hotel, and we want control of this airport to lower these landing fees. And we don't want to build a big, glamorous airport with huge landing fees like we have in Nassau. We just need a small, quaint airport. It can land jets. That's all you got to do. Get the people, the tourists, to come, put them in the taxis. That'd revitalize the taxi industry. And you could do something other with that hotel.
Yeah.
Turn it into corporate headquarters.
It's just
But
like,
anyway.
my concern is, it's like, you asked him what they could do with the 60 million, right? I mean, I'm not against the hotel. The hotel will give people jobs and tourists will come to the island. I'm not against Freeport. But it's funny how they always do these big commercials and stuff in the States, and they pay a bunch of money to put them in the States in these billboards, and it shows the outer islands. The last commercial, I think it only probably showed Atlantis and maybe somewhere else in Nassau, but the rest of it was outer islands. But they borrow all this money to fix Nassau, fix Freeport. Why don't they just do a big outer island campaign?
Development.
Take 100 million or something and help the resorts or the small business people who have small rentals in
Because if you make the outer islands grow, right, then you move people away from the centralized Nassau where we can keep everybody jam
you
up
can
and
put
taxed.
a bunch of people here to vote
Yeah,
and tax them to
that's
death.
the problem. You can't have it go rogue on you. You might not be able to
They
keep
ain't worried.
control anymore.
They need more people down here so they could win their elections.
So here's what should be done as a government. Put up $100,000, right, prize for the best idea on how to fix Freeport. Another $100,000 how to fix Long Island. See that? Because you done got this $65 million you could spend somewhere. And maybe you come up with a better idea on how to fix Long Island than Freeport, right?
I mean, that's one of their salaries.
Fire one of them and give the money to the citizen that comes up with a better
That's
idea on how to fix
And hire
Freeport.
him.
Because we got 5 salaries over there in Freeport right now, right? One of you are gone. I ain't gonna say which one. We could pull straws. We can ask people to pull straws to say which one should go for the $100,000 salary for the person from Freeport. Come up with the best idea, and the same thing in Long Island, Lutra, and all the other islands. Listen, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Next week we'll be back, and I got some shows coming for y'all. Blow your mind. You want to know what's really been going on in the Bahamas in the taxi industry? That's coming. And when you see that truth. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Share the video.
Have a good day.